Want to be able to just pull it out of the freezer and then in the morning dump everything into the crock pot and walk away. Whole food approved, keto, gluten-free, dairy-free, all the things free for all these recipes. Hey neighbors, it's been a while. It's been a while in real life. I know you have been seeing videos from me, but I haven't done any like kitchen project videos. I feel like in a while now, definitely been like 2 weeks, I think. Those things that we baked together, that 100 serving video, did that at the very beginning of March. In real time today, it is March 22nd. All of those baked goods lasted us through at least March 15th. So over half of the month. So that's pretty good, not too shabby. I have big dreams to do another big kitchen project. So we're gonna start prepping for that now because it'll probably be a couple of day project. So I need to get broth going. I pulled all these chicken bones. So I got 2 bags of chicken bones here, and then I have 2 Costco chicken carcasses. I just threw them into the freezer in the Costco bags, but it's just bones left basically. This is all I have left. This one single container of broth from that big batch of broth that I did. I think that was at the beginning of January. So it's lasted us 2.5 months, that big broth endeavor. But the meals that I'm wanting to do a bunch of freezer whole food crock pot meals so that I can just throw them in the crock pot and leave them for the day. That is the hope and the dream. And I've got big plans. So I want to do a bolognese. I want to do pulled pork. I want to do beef and broccoli. I have a Mongolian beef recipe. I felt that. Goulash, some pulled chicken, Okay, go to the neighbors. A Tuscan chicken recipe, and then a pot roast stroganoff. Actually, a couple batches of that. So altogether, let's see. If I'm able to actually get all of this stuff done, I would have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 dump and serve freezer meals, which would be amazing. We can use them in the RV for upcoming trips, or we can use them at home on days, on days when we're super busy out working in the yard on the property, because those days are coming. They are fast approaching. So I'm just thinking, like, how do I make my life more streamlined? In order to do all these recipes, I need like at least 10 cups of broth. Plus I have a recipe I'm doing tomorrow that requires 4 cups of broth. So we're at 14 cups of broth already that I need. Plus I'd like to get some in the freezer. So I'm gonna start a batch of chicken bone broth, and then probably tomorrow, I have 3 packs of beef soup bones, and I'll do some beef broth with that. So I have 1, 2, 3. So these have been sitting in my freezer for, I think, 1 or 2 years at this point. And I just haven't gotten around to accomplishing that. So let me get out my big pot. We'll get this rolling, and we'll get some broth, and then we'll start on our big recipes. Okay, we made it through the broth making process. My beef broth, I started this morning. We're on day 2 of this process. I started the beef broth this morning. It's done. I pulled it off the stove before I left, and it is cooling now. I have my whole list here of things. I got everything highlighted that I need to buy still, so I'm at Winco. Let's run inside. Let's get the groceries we need, and then let's get home and start busting out some of these freezer meals. I'm feeling really energized because the radio station played both Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys on my drive here, so we're in a good mood right now. Let's go shopping. I do need minced garlic. Just may as well get a whole nother jar. $6.48. Okay, I need lots of canned tomato products, but also I need to look and see if they have some bell peppers, canned bell peppers. I'm not sure what I'm looking for. Some kind of bell pepper. This right here. Okay, mild roasted red bell peppers. I feel like this will work. So maybe get 2 jars, $3.46. And then I need 4 cans of the fire roasted diced tomatoes. These are 88 cents each. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I need 1 can of tomato sauce, 78 cents. And then tomato paste, I need to buy a tube. Oh, do I not have tubes anymore? I don't see tubes anymore, so we'll get the 76 cents. And then I think one of these, let me look at my notes again, $4.88. I think I only need one of these. Buy 1 big jug. I need 3 cups at least, so I'm gonna get 2, $4.88 each. I'd rather have too much than not enough. And then I know I'm fine, and I think I'm fine in the salt department. I think I'll be okay, but I do need more pepper. So let's just get value pack. We'll just get this one, $3.58. And then I typically grab spices in the bulk section, but today I'm just not feeling it. So $1.08, I need some Italian seasoning. Just kidding, I changed my mind. Okay, so we'll see how much I end up paying. I got this much of the Italian seasoning. It's $4.59 per pound. And then over here, I got some of the smoked paprika. This is $6.68 per pound, so I got a little bit of each of those. And I'll go put this back. Okay, meat section. This is where we're loading up. So they have boneless, skinless chicken thigh fillets. That's what I want. I need, I believe, 6 to 7 pounds chicken thigh. 7 to 8 pounds. So these are like 2.5 pounds each. So gonna need 3 of these. Let's do this. 1, 2, so that's 5, 6, 7, that's almost 8. Okay, that's all boneless, skinless thigh fillets. And they're priced at $3.67 per pound. Okay, just looking at my options here. So I need 4 pounds of cubed, like stew beef. I was debating on getting just the chuck steaks and slicing them up myself, but it's the same price per pound for them to just do it for me. So let's do these 2 packs. I'm just trying to see how much fatty business is happening. That one looks good. I realize it's stew meat, so you get what you get. All right, and these is $7.28 per pound. And then I'm going to get 4 of these. These are priced at $3.28 per pound. And then I need 9 to 10 pounds of sliced. So this is 2.5. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then let's get a smaller pack here. 9. So that's like 9.5 pounds. Okay. I think we got enough meat. Frozen veggies and a few other things, and then I'm done. So we need kale, carrots, broccoli. Let's see what we can find here. There's carrots. Crinkle cut. This should do. This should work. How much? 3 cups? Is this 3 cups? Yeah, should be. And those are $1.56 for a 16-ounce bag. And then, oh, broccoli's right next to it. Okay, how much broccoli do I need? 4 cups. This should be $1.93. That should be good. I see chopped spinach in the freezer section, but not kale. I was thinking I could find kale, but I'm gonna go get it from the fresh produce section just because I feel like kale holds up better than spinach in like stews and stuff, you know. I do need some white wine for a recipe. I always just get these little guys, $5.58. And then I need Ziploc bags. Definitely need those. Freezer, Ziploc, 28. $6.76. Just going straight across the store to grab kale, and then I think I've got everything. $1.48 for 1 head of kale. And now let's go check out and see how much I spent. Any guesses what my total is going to be? It's a lot of meat that I'm buying today, and I haven't bought a lot of meat in a really long time from the store. So, any guesses? What's my total? Okay, drum roll, please. I did grab a sweet tea when I was in line in the checkout, but my total came out to $195.18. Woosha, woosha, woosha. Okay, we got it all home. Let me get set up, and then we'll start working on some of these recipes and getting them in the freezer. Sorry. My cats are circling my feet right now. I just stepped on my cat because they smell all this fresh meat. Okay, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do a pulled chicken and a pulled pork, actually 2 of each. So I got those pork tenderloins from the store, and then I got the chicken thighs, the boneless, skinless chicken thighs. So since we have all of this broth, I'm gonna do this with broth. I know you've seen me in the past do specifically the pulled pork with like root beer or something sweet in it, but this time, for the sake of all the broths, I have so much right now, we're gonna do that. So I've got 4 bags ready to go, and the idea with these meals is, yes, I'm taking it out of one package and putting it into another plastic package. I understand that's a little ridiculous, but I want to be able to just pull it out of the freezer like the night before, whatever, throw it in the fridge, and then in the morning dump everything into the crock pot and walk away. So that's the hope and the dream and the wish and the prayer. So let's start. I have a big jug. This is the chicken broth that I did yesterday. So I'm going to put a cup of chicken broth into each. This is very gelatinous chicken broth. 1. So I just kind of looked up on Google, my best friend Google, looked up a couple different recipes for like pulled chicken and pulled pork, and then just kind of threw together my own version. So it's going to be super basic. The idea with the pulled chicken is we can use it for barbecue chicken, or we could shred it and put it into like chicken salad or something like that. Whatever, it'll be multi-purpose. And then I'm going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of salt in each bag. And then a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. 1/2 teaspoon of that smoked paprika that we just bought. Oh, by the way, I meant to look at the receipt. How much did I pay for the paprika? 94 cents. So I paid 18 cents for that Italian seasoning. This one right here. Chicken, kitties. Okay, and the one that was in already prepackaged in the Winco brand container was $1.08. So Italian seasoning, 18 cents. That's why I get it in the bulk section. Thank you very much. And then a teaspoon, sorry, that was a tangent. I got distracted thinking about the bulk section. A teaspoon each of garlic powder and onion powder. I feel like I'm gonna run out of garlic and onion powder possibly doing all these recipes. I figured starting with this would be an easy win. All right, and then I already pulled the chicken thighs out and I cut down any extra fat that was on them. So I'm gonna put 6 of the thighs in each bag. So that should be around 2 pounds of meat. That was kind of the goal. That was the goal, was to do like 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds of meat. So there's that one. I just had them standing up in like containers so they wouldn't fall over and spill liquid all over while I was filling them. So that's the chicken, and then here is the pork loin ones. I think I put a little extra pepper in this one. That's okay. So there's 2 loins in each, which is probably closer to like 3 pounds of meat. So like 2 pounds for the chicken, 3 pounds for the pork. But it should be okay. My cats are like eyeballing me. They're like, please drop something, please drop something. Not gonna drop anything. Okay, that was an easy win, perfect. These are done. I just need to wash my hands, zip them up, label them, and set them aside, and then we'll move on to our other chicken option, which is gonna be creamy Tuscan chicken. And all of these recipes that I'm doing, whole food approved, keto, gluten-free, dairy-free, all the things free for all these recipes. So that's a win. I just had raw meat all over that counter, Penny. So that's what that one is looking like. 4 down. Okay, let's just clap our hands and we'll move to the next one, okay? Okay, we're doing the next thing, okay? We're on to the next thing. Creamy Tuscan chicken. So this is from paleorunningmama.com. Now this is not, her version is not like a freezer meal. I'm gonna try and make it into a freezer meal. I don't know if it's gonna work. I hope this is not a terrible idea, but we're gonna go with it, okay? So the chicken, I cut off the extra fatty bits, and then I tossed it in some tapioca flour. Now, is this gonna freeze well? I don't know. We're gonna try it out and we're gonna find out, okay? I have no idea if this is gonna freeze well. But we're gonna bulldoze forward and find out. Find out in a couple weeks and I'll let you know. So first thing we're gonna add to our bags, I'm doing 2 batches, okay? Double batch here. So a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder and onion powder. I need, small onion chopped. I'm gonna skip that part because I forgot to get that out and chop it up. That's okay. we're gonna do garlic. I'm gonna do like a healthy teaspoon. A cup of chicken broth. This broth is so thick. So thick. Half a cup of coconut milk. This recipe calls for canned coconut milk, like full fat stuff. This is what I have in the fridge, so this is what we're gonna use. Just trying really hard to just use whatever I had on hand. I mean, you saw what we bought at the grocery store. It was not much as far as this goes. It was just basically meat. Almost everything else I had on hand. So mustard, I'm using ground mustard. And I need a half tablespoon. And nutritional yeast. Oh, I didn't get that out either. Man, I'm struggling today. Thought I had it all. Nutritional yeast, 1.5 tablespoons. This adds like a little bit of a cheesy flavor without having cheese in it, in my opinion. It's also very healthy, good for you. All kinds of good things in it. Okay, it smells good. It like smells cheesy. And then Italian seasoning. We're gonna do a teaspoon of each. Salt and pepper, I need a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Oh shoot, that's a lot more than a 1/4. That's okay. And then like an 1/8 teaspoon of pepper. And then this calls for sun-dried tomatoes. We're not really sun-dried tomato people, so that's what I got, one of these cans of the roasted red bell peppers. I thought that would be good in it. So I'm just gonna do half a can in each. I've already drained it out in the sink. So I'm just gonna throw half the jar in here and half the jar in here. And then kale. I forgot, the recipe calls for spinach. I'm going to do kale and I forgot to chop it up, so give me a second. Okay, we're gonna do like a couple big handfuls of kale in each. And then I just need to throw the chicken in and it's all good. So I'm gonna put 6 thighs in each bag. The recipe does call for it to be thickened with a little bit of tapioca starch, so we're gonna do this and see how it goes. You just never know what you're gonna get with me. But this seems like a fresh spring, summer type of recipe. Now that we're entering our warmer months, I didn't really want to do a lot of crock pot, like chilies and things like that. I wanted it to be more fresher spring, summer type meals. So that's what we're doing. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. Okay, I think this is the last one that we're gonna do tonight. We'll regroup tomorrow because I'm tired and I've been either prepping food or grocery shopping for like 8 hours of the day today. So it's 4 p.m. I got to get like our actual dinner done for our family tonight. And so we're gonna do the pot roast stroganoff now. And I'm gonna prep some stuff for tomorrow and then we'll regroup, okay? So the pot roast stroganoff is, I keep it super simple because everybody likes it a little different in my family. I'm gonna do an onion in each. And then I always saute mushrooms on the side. So I'm just gonna completely leave it out of the pre-made freezer version. And I can add mushroom in. I'll just leave a little note on the bag. So when I pull it out or when I look through the freezer, I'll remember, oh yeah, I like that with mushrooms. I think I might be the only one that eats it with mushrooms. I don't think anybody else in my family does. Anyways, it's super, super simple. So I'm gonna do 4 cups of beef stock. So this is what was cooking in that pot earlier today. So I'm gonna do 4 cups of it, which I'm realizing is gonna overflow my bags here. Oh geez. I'm prepping some of my other meat off to the side here for tomorrow. Trying to multitask. I'm trying to do too many things. Anyways, and then what I'm gonna do is throw this stew meat in here. I usually use just chuck steaks and cut them up the same way. So, oh shoot, spilling my drink. I did toss these in some tapioca flour once again, so we'll see how it turns out like that. It's mostly soaked into the meat at this point. Cat hair on the meat though. So we'll put half of it in this bag. So it's about 2 pounds of meat altogether. And then, yeah, this just gets thrown in the crock pot, cooks all day. We like to add sour cream to it to make it creamy. And it's a pretty basic meal otherwise. 4 cups. I don't think I'll add a little salt and pepper to each bag, I suppose. I'm afraid these are gonna fall over. This clearly I need to stop for the day because I'm struggling right now. Okay, give me a second. We have so much broth, but that's a good thing. Okay, that one is done. And they can go in the freezer, and then we will reconvene tomorrow. Okay, welcome to day 3. We're on day 3 of this project. I just spent the last like half an hour getting all set up. We have 4 more recipes to get through. We're gonna try and whip through them as fast as we can. It is 12:30 in the afternoon right now. We spent all morning getting our schoolwork done. I baked a fresh loaf of sourdough bread, and we had that with our lunch today. We played some games. We even dyed some eggs. Look at how cute those are turning out. Dyed some Easter eggs. A lot of fun. A lot of fun we had this morning so far. The kids are now hanging out on the couch watching TV. It is super rainy day. Actually, it finally stopped raining, but it just poured all morning, like torrential downpour. I couldn't believe it. Anyways, I was looking through my list of meals that we've done and we're about to do, and I was just trying to figure out the math. So altogether, we will have 14 bagged freezer meals ready to go. Of those 14 freezer meals, we will get multiple meals out of them. Almost across the board, every single freezer meal could feed us twice. We are a family of 4. I have a 8-year-old and a 12-year-old. And so these meals, I mean, some of them might be real popular and we buzz through them. You never know. Sometimes my kids are eating a lot. Sometimes they're not eating a lot. You just never know what you're gonna get. But 14 meals, okay? Spent $200, just under $200 at Winco yesterday in order to make all of these meals. That comes out to just under $14 a meal. I will definitely be adding either like noodles, rice, potatoes to all of these dishes, any and all of these dishes. So obviously that's not factoring into the cost, but that's pretty small potatoes all things considered. So $14 per meal, and these are all high protein, lots of meat protein, lots of animal protein in them. They're all capable of being keto, paleo, gluten-free, dairy-free, all the things that we need in my house that make it so complicated. So it feels so good that we're gonna have all those meals ready to go. I can pull them out of the freezer, I can dump them in the crock pot and not have to worry about dinner. So that'll be a huge bonus. And it'll be a huge bonus that a lot of these meals are gonna feel like fresh, like not hearty winter cold food, comfort food. These are gonna feel good. I think the pot roast stroganoff is kind of like a winter comfort food, but everything else is pretty good. So, okay, enough talking. Let's get back to working. I've got some tea. I'm drinking honey chai turmeric tea with a little bit of cream in it, a little bit of coconut milk in it. So let's get going. Let's get going. Let's get it done and over with. I'm so tired. All right, my countertop probably looks like an absolute disaster. There's so much stuff out, but I promise there's a rhyme and reason to it. So we're gonna do our 2 ground beef recipes now. I cooked up the ground beef yesterday after I was all done filming. I showed you that, so it's ready to go. I just need to spoon it in. So we're going to do 2 different ground beef recipes. One is 1 pot American goulash. This is from budgetbites.com, the recipe that I am following. And then we are going to do slow cooker bolognese from delish.com. So both of these, we're gonna kind of do, I'm gonna do one and then do the other because they have a lot of similar ingredients. So just 2 birds, 1 stone. We're trying to kill as many birds with 1 stone as we can right now. So the goulash, okay, hold on, let me get a spoon. And then first things first, oh, I also cut up all of the onions last night that I would need for these 2. So this is 2 onions cut up in here. So I'm just gonna put half in here and half in here. They each call for 1 onion chopped. I have on my notes for both of these recipes that a half a recipe feeds our family 1 meal. So this is one of those meals where a whole recipe is gonna feed us 2 nights in a row, easy. So I'm doing the whole recipe for each of these, just for reference. Sorry, am I getting everybody confused yet? Okay, 1 yellow onion, 4 cloves of garlic. I'm just gonna do like a heaping spoonful or 2. 2 bell peppers. I'm gonna use these roasted bell peppers that I used yesterday. I'm just gonna put the whole can in. I feel like that's pretty equivalent to 2 bell peppers. And then 1 pound of ground beef. So this is 3 pounds altogether, so I'm gonna try and eyeball 1/3 of this into here. This is ground beef from our local farm-raised cow. We buy through a friend of ours, and we have gotten really good quality meat from them the last couple of years and been very happy with it. So we just got tons of ground beef left in the freezer, and our next cow is going to be coming in the next 2 or 3 months. So we need to finish working through all that. You can have some chocolate milk. Okay. Okay. And then 1/2 cup of red wine.
You drink wine?
I don't drink wine, but I use it in my recipes. So I just have, my hands are all slippery now. Just have these little bottles like I showed you at the grocery store. So 1/2 cup, I think, is most of that, yeah. 1/2 cup red wine, 28 ounces of diced tomatoes. I'm using these fire roasted. I'm kind of obsessed with these fire roasted tomatoes, and I'm not going to drain them at all. So one, these are 14-ounce cans. So 2 of these to get to 28. We're doing math together. This is gonna fill this pretty full. Is it just me, or are the lights flickering? Or is that my light that's flickering? One 15-ounce can of tomato sauce. And then with both of these recipes, I will be adding noodles after I cook it in the crock pot. So I'll just write a little note on the bag and say, you know, add noodles at the end of cooking or whatever. Like the bolognese, I'll serve it over the noodles, right? Or potato or rice or whatever we want. But the goulash, I'll just throw some noodles in at the end. So 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 bay leaves, and then it calls for some different seasonings. I'm just gonna go ahead and use the Italian seasoning blend that we got. Do like a heaping teaspoon. And then it calls for a 1/2 cup water. I'm gonna use broth since we got broth coming out our eyeballs. This is the beef broth. Oh yeah, it's nice and thick. 1/2 cup of that. And then this one is done. I mean, that's a full, that's a full bag. Okay, let me get this closed and then we'll start the bolognese. Bolognese. We've got the onion. I need 2 carrots, 3 celery. I got those chopped over here. I'm just using yellow carrots, but they are carrots, not parsnips. I can easily pass as potatoes if there's somebody that's not interested in eating carrots that day, if you get my drift. So 2 carrots, 3 celery, 4 cloves of garlic. Again, just gonna do a couple big spoonfuls. Quentin, can you turn that down, please? Pretty much at the end of this jar. Got another one, don't worry. 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. This is what I had left in my fridge. I did buy a can of tomato paste, so we'll see if we can get 3 tablespoons out of this. I'm just gonna eyeball it. 1. I feel like if I just put the rest of it in, that's gonna be close enough to 3 tablespoons. There, that works for me. And then I can just save my can. Okay, 2 pounds of ground beef. Let's get that in. And for the record, because I know I said like, all these meals can be keto. And then I'm like, serve it with pasta or rice or potatoes. My husband is the one that's strictly keto in our household, and he will just eat, like he would just eat the bolognese sauce plain. Like he would just get a bowl of it or whatever. He would just skip out on the carb. So if that's your thing, then that's your thing. And then 28 ounces, again, of crushed tomatoes. I'm gonna use fire roasted diced tomatoes. Yes, and thank you. I'm kind of obsessed with the fact that Winco carries these now in their brand, because fire roasted diced tomatoes in the other brands are so expensive. Like so expensive, like twice the cost of any other canned tomato product. And I don't get it. Again, it calls for a bunch of different spices. I'm just gonna put in a healthy dose of Italian seasoning, a couple teaspoons, a couple heaping teaspoons, should be good with me. Oh, salt and pepper. I didn't put any salt and pepper in that. That's okay. We're gonna do some salt. Gonna do some pepper. It calls for 1 cup of whole milk. I'm gonna use coconut milk. Give it the creaminess. And then a 1/4 cup of white wine. And then a bay leaf. And that's that. I'm gonna get these labeled, and then I will set up for our last two recipes that we're gonna put together. There we go. Okay, next we are doing paleo crockpot Mongolian beef, and this is from Christine at onceamonthmom.com. She sounds like my kind of gal. Anyways, that's what I'm basing it off of. I'm kind of loosey-goosey following this, but I have made this recipe in the past, and it turns out just fine for us. So this is just over 5 pounds of the like thin sliced chuck steaks. So it is not like strips, like stir fry strips. And I was originally gonna like cut it up into little stir fry strips, but now I'm kind of like, whatever, it'll be fine. It'll be food. So I'm not gonna worry too much about that. So we're gonna do a teaspoon of ginger. This does call for like fresh ginger. I'm just gonna use some powdered ginger. And I am going to double each batch. So it'll be a double recipe because I don't know, that's what I wrote down, is to do a double batch. So that's what I'm doing. I'm not gonna question it. And then garlic, I got my new fresh jar of garlic out. So this calls for 2 cloves. Again, double batching it. I'm gonna do like a real generous big spoonful in each. Nobody's ever sad about garlic. Okay, coconut aminos. I'm not using coconut aminos. I'm using my liquid aminos. Sure. So I'm gonna do like a cup and a half. If I'm doubling it, then a cup and a half would be what I'm doing here. This feels like a lot, but that's okay. We're going with it. Sure. This is why I bought so much soy sauce when I was at the store. I remember thinking like, wow, that sounds like a lot, but clearly I was right. So like I said, that seems like a lot of liquid, a lot of soy sauce, but we're going with it. And then it says to put water in. I'm gonna use the broth that we made. This is the beef broth. So just not gonna be able to fit it all. Hold on, let me think this through. Let me think this through. I'm gonna put the meat in. I'm gonna divide up the meat and put it in because that'll hold all this liquid steady. So I can finish pouring everything in that needs to go in. This is like over 5 pounds, not 6 pounds, but definitely over 5. And I did coat it in tapioca starch again. Like I said, don't know if it's gonna work. Hopefully I'm not ruining my recipes by doing that. But, okay. So that'll work now. Let me wash my hands. Now I can do 1.5 cups of broth. And then honey, you could definitely use an alternative besides actual honey. If you're trying to keep this keto, I'm just gonna use honey. Don't tell my husband I'm using honey. So I'm gonna do 1.5 cups of honey into each. Probably use up most of the honey I've got here. I might need to use some alternative sweetener also, which is fine. I can't believe we're about to use all this honey. 3/4 cup per recipe so far. Just gonna finish it off with this. Just like 100% eyeballed it. I have no idea how much I put in. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. It calls for shredded carrots. I can taste that sweetener in the air. Calls for a half a cup of shredded carrots. I just bought these in the freezer section, and I'm just gonna split the bag half and half and call it good. All right, and then 3 green onions chopped. I'm gonna use these freeze-dried chives and probably use the entire container. Okay, there's the Mongolian beef. Let's finish our last thing. Moving on to my iced tea. This is the one that I bought yesterday grocery shopping. Still finishing it off today. Okay, last but not least, certainly not least, slow cooker, beef and broccoli. This is from a keto recipe book that I must have got from the library because I photocopied the recipe, so I cannot give credit. Sorry, it doesn't say. I am gonna loosely go off of this recipe, and again, I'm going to double what the original recipe is and double it and make two double batches. That makes sense? This is, I'm glad this is our last one because my brain's starting to not work. Okay, I've got about 4 pounds of, again, the thin sliced beef chuck. I mixed it up in tapioca flour once again. We're just gonna keep at it, okay? So I'm gonna do a half a cup of soy sauce. I'm going to do a 1/4 a cup of white wine, a 1/4 a cup of apple cider vinegar. Using up all of my stuff. My recycling is very full right now. Then it calls for ghee and coconut oil. I'm just gonna use butter, and I'm just gonna, my very mutilated stick of butter, I'm gonna put like half and half in here. Garlic, do a heaping spoonful, and then red pepper flakes. I'm just gonna do a palm's worth, like a teaspoon. A head of broccoli. I got this 16-ounce bag. I'm gonna put half and half. I think I need to come up with a better system for filling these bags if I ever do this again. These little bowls have been helpful, but also a hindrance. So, all right, about 2 pounds into each bag. And pretty much all of these recipes, you just throw in the crock pot and cook it on low for 8 hours. I mean, that works with anything, doesn't it? Crock pot miraculously changes anything into magic after 8 hours. Okay, that's it. That's all of them. Let me show you everything laid out. I'm not gonna lie. Once you lay it all out together, I'm like, wow, I got a lot done. We got a lot done. This is a ton of food. And this is, okay, so on top of the 14 ready to go meals, we got how many quarts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 quarts of broth ready to go. And 2 of those quarts, actually, I got the beef. I picked it off of the bones, the beef bones. So there's 2 quarts that are like full of beef, and I could defrost them, throw some veggies in, heat it up, and like that stew right there. So even more meals, even more meals. The meals just keep coming. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I can't believe we got it all done. Now I need to go get it all in the freezer and be done. Be done with it. Wash my hands of this kitchen. Thank you so much for hanging out with me these last couple of days and helping me get through this massive project. I'm so thankful I got it done and got them in the freezer. I hope you guys are inspired to do some kitchen projects for yourself, get some scratch-made meals going. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. I'll see you in the next big batch video, whenever that happens, wherever and whenever. Otherwise, lots of grocery hauls coming. I'll see you later. Bye.